Welcome to Recap King. In this video, we will explain Tapped Out. This movie tells the story of a former martial arts prodigy sentenced to perform community service at a rundown karate school. He encounters the man who killed his parents a decade earlier during a local MMA match. Will he be able to avenge his parents? Let's find out in Tapped Out. Tapped Out begins when Michael Shaw, a 12-year-old boy, is training at a karate dojo and receives his brown belt. Michael's parents, who looked proud of their son's achievements, witnessed the moment directly. However, his happiness did not last long. On the way home, his parents' car was stopped by two armed men. Michael's father immediately told him to hide under the car seat and asked him not to get out of there, no matter what. During a carjacking, one of the men kills both of his parents, while the other man escapes. The man who killed Michael's parents then drove the car elsewhere, never realizing Michael was hiding under the car's back seat. On the way, the man takes off his mask and Michael sees a distinctive tattoo on the back of the neck of the man. When the man arrived at his destination and got out of the car, Michael immediately ran away. 7 years later, Michael Shaw has grown into a troubled teenager who likes to party and sell heroin to his friends. One night, Michael, who was doing his thing at a party, got into trouble, causing him to be arrested by the police. Luckily, the one who caught him that time was Detective Len Riley, who was a friend of his grandfather. The detective then took him home and told his grandfather that this was the last time he would help Michael because he had caused too much trouble and broke the rules. Morris, Shaw's grandfather, seemed to no longer know what to do to prevent Michael from causing trouble. Michael was called to the principal's office the next day, where his grandfather was also in the room. Apparently, video footage showing Michael having a drug party has been spread in the school and the principal decided to sentence him. On his grandfather's advice, Michael had to serve a community service sentence at a karate dojo owned by one of his late father's close friends. If Michael refuses, then he will be immediately expelled from school. Not wanting to disappoint his grandfather, Michael finally accepts the punishment. After school, Michael went straight to the karate dojo. Seeing the atmosphere in the dojo, he then remembered his childhood memories when he was a student at the karate dojo. Michael then meets Reggie, the owner and teacher at the karate dojo. Reggie then led Michael around, telling him which rooms he needed to clean. After that, he left Michael the keys to the dojo and went outside. Michael immediately started his work cleaning the karate dojo. He seems interested in entering Reggie's room and finds a photo of him with his late father. Every day, after school, Michael always came to Reggie's dojo to do his job cleaning the dojo. One day, while Reggie is coaching a children's class, Michael sees one of the children showing the wrong karate stroke technique. Spontaneously, he then approached the child and demonstrated the correct technique. Seeing this, Reggie then offers Michael a side job to train children, but he refuses. Although Michael at first just wanted to finish his community service hours, he seemed to have rediscovered the passion for karate that he had left behind a long time ago. While training alone at the dojo, Michael is approached by Jen, who turns out to be Reggie's niece. Jen had come because she wanted to meet her uncle, but because he was not there, Jen took the initiative to take Michael to watch the mixed martial arts fight held not far from there. Michael accepts Jen's invitation. She said she is a mixed martial arts fan and asks Michael not to tell Reggie because her uncle doesn't like it. While watching the fight, Michael realizes that one of the fighters named Dominic Gray is the one who brutally killed his parents 7 years ago, after seeing the tattoo on the back of the man's neck. Michael then fell silent and left the place, while Dominic beat his opponents mercilessly. Michael then went to the police station to report the perpetrators of his parents' murder 7 years ago, but the police couldn't act without evidence. Michael left disappointed. Michael then vents his anger at the dojo, but Reggie advises him not to get carried away under any circumstances. The next day, Michael returns to the battlefield and intends to register as one of the fighters so he can fight Dominic. But Michael's wish was immediately rejected by the fight's promoter, a man named Lou. After failing to register as a fighter, Michael finally decides to follow Dominic back to his residence and intends to kill him with a gun. He then infiltrated Dominic's bedroom balcony, and when he was about to shoot Dominic, a woman entered the room. Michael then gave up his intention to shoot Dominic. When Michael was about to leave, Dominic's men noticed his whereabouts and arrested him. Michael was then brought before Dominic. The man then punched Michael hard in the stomach and threatened him not to follow him again. After that, Michael went again to the police station and gave them the address where Dominic lived, but of course the police still couldn't act without evidence. However, Detective Len Riley, who worked on the murder case of Michael's parents 7 years ago, examined Michael's statement and decided to reopen the case. Because he still has the ambition to take revenge for his parents, Michael decides to accept Reggie's previous offer who wants to train him. Since then, Michael has been training in karate with Reggie, but doesn't tell him that he intends to avenge on Dominic. Through his training under Reggie, Michael is increasingly becoming more proficient and skilled in martial arts combat. In the evening, Michael visits the mixed martial arts battle arena, where Reggie secretly follows him. On the other hand, it turns out that Detective Riley is also there. After Dominic again won the fight and came out as the defending champion, Lou announces about the upcoming tournament where the fighter who beats all the other fighters will have a chance to fight Dominic Gray and will get prize money of $50,000 if he wins. Hearing this, Michael decided to take the opportunity. Although Lou still refuses to let Michael enter the tournament, the man finally relents when Michael firmly insists on joining the tournament and manages to defeat Lou's bodyguards. Lou then tells Michael to enter a street fight as a condition of qualifying for the tournament. The next day, Michael tells Jen he's going to a mixed martials tournament and asks her to keep it a secret from Reggie. That night, Michael then came to the location of the street fight to take part in the qualifying round. Although initially belittled for not having the looks of a fighter, Michael was eventually able to win the qualifying fight that allowed him to enter the tournament. The following day, Reggie, knowing that Michael will be participating in a mixed martial arts tournament, is furious at him and kicks him out of his dojo. Reggie thinks Michael is only fighting for money, which is against his principles. The two then got into a fight, resulting in Michael leaving the dojo and finally practicing on his own. While training, his grandfather visits Michael, who informs him that Detective Riley will reopen the murder case of his parents' murder. This made Michael becomes even more excited. Jen, who has found out about Michael's background in participating in the tournament, then tells Reggie why he entered the tournament. Reggie decides to retrain him. Jen then tells Michael about it, where Reggie is waiting to talk to him. Reggie tells about his friendship with Michael's father who has helped him a lot during his life. Reggie also feels very lost over the incident that killed his father. But then he advises Michael that killing Dominic is not the best revenge. Even so, Reggie would do his best to train Michael. Reggie then enlists the help of his friends, Anderson and Lyoto, to help Michael train and learn every skill necessary to enter a cage fight and face off against the man who took everything from him. Day after day, Michael trains very hard and earnestly under the guidance of Reggie and his friends. On the other hand, Dominic and the other fighters are also training and preparing for the tournament. During his training, Michael and Jen's relationship became closer and they began a more intimate relationship. Jen then tells Michael that the dojo is in danger of going bankrupt because Reggie is struggling with the economy. Finally, the day of the tournament arrived. The fighters put all their ability and strength in the cage fight, so did Michael. In the tournament, Michael's fight went well thanks to training from Reggie and his friends. Despite his struggles, he advanced to the final battle by defeating all his opponents with his impressive karate style. Before the final fight, Dominic tries to deflate Michael's fighting spirit by telling him over the microphone that he will beat him. In response, Michael recounts how he witnessed the murder of his parents 7 years ago and vaguely reveals to Dominic that he knows it was him who committed the murder. Realizing that Michael can identify himself as his parents' killer, Dominic plans to kill him during the fight and make it look like an accident. This plot was devised by his manager. Dominic uses his strength and size in the first round, then insults Michael about his parents. But Michael can restrain himself with his speed and technique. In the second round, Dominic suffered an injury after trying to hit Michael with a knee strike and Michael started to take advantage by kicking his knee. Before the third round started, Dominic's manager pulled the referee out of the cage and locked the gate. Everyone was surprised because he broke the rules. Reggie went up to the manager and knocked him out with one punch. Both Michael and Dominic fought with everything they had during the final round. Dominic eventually gets Michael in a chokehold and tries to strangle him to death. While in the chokehold, Michael sees both his parents in the crowd. This gives him another fighting spirit and he breaks the chokehold. Encouraged by both Reggie and the sight of his parents, Michael fights on. Utilizing all his karate training, Michael finally defeated Dominic and viciously continued to beat him. Although Michael is tempted to kill him, he finally remembers Reggie's earlier advice about letting him live with what he had done. Michael then took revenge by breaking Dominic's leg instead. Michael was declared the winner in the fight. After winning the tournament, Michael was awarded a $50,000 prize money, but he gives all the money to Reggie as a token of his gratitude for training him and helping him avenge his parents' deaths. After losing the fight, Dominic is humiliated and ridiculed by the audience. Sometime later, Reggie's karate dojo grows rapidly and has many students. On the other hand, Morris reads an article in the newspaper that states that Dominic has confessed to being the killer of Michael's parents and is imprisoned. Michael and his grandfather then go to his parents' graves, where Michael places his black belt in the tombs. His grandfather then told Michael that his parents would be proud of him. The film ends,